Good evening and welcome to tonight's advanced lesson. I'm Troy, and if you're new to the website, thank you for joining us for the first time. And if you're regular, thank you for again logging in and watching. So if you were just watching live, yep, I forgot to press record, so we're repeating just the first couple minutes. So this is live lesson number 78. Can't believe we're there already. It's the advanced lesson on the Street Samba. So now what we're going to be doing in today's lesson is looking at how to apply a street kind of samba to the kit. Before we do that, I just want to mention quickly some exciting news that we have Mr. Jerry Pantazis locked in to do a masterclass on the site on the 25th of September this year at 7 p.m. It's a Tuesday night and the time is Australian Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to lock in exactly what Jerry is going to be performing and well, not just performing, but what he's going to be talking about, and that's going to be all updated on the site. But you guys who are watching this now will have, provided you still subscribe to the website, that is, you'll have access to that. So at no extra cost. Anyone else who wants to see it, it's $5 USD, and that once you watch it, you can re-watch it and watch it over and over again because it's going to go to the archive. Jerry's played with guys like Tommy Emmanuel, Larry Carlton, Hugh Jackman, John Farnham, Shannon Knoll, Guy Sebastian. It's ridiculous. Tina Arena. You go onto the website under masterclasses. Check out Jerry's bio there. I haven't even put his discography there. It's just crazy. He's played on film, television. He's the resident drummer for Carols by Candlelight, which is the Christmas Eve presentation that's on every year. It's massive. He plays the Logies. It's you name it. He's pretty much the first call for most stuff around Melbourne, and yeah, he does. He's just an amazing guy, amazing player, and we're very lucky to have him there. I'm so rapt I could lock in Jerry. I do consider him a really good friend, and he's taught me a hell of a lot over the years. So anyway, we can talk about that later. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get into this street samba. Now what is a street samba, here you ask? Because we did already in the beginner lesson, we did ostinato, the bass drum ostinato with the hands on top. So we discussed what an ostinato is. It's just a repetitive pattern that keeps repeating and repeating, and you play stuff over the top of it or underneath it, depending whether it's on the hands or the feet. And then with the intermediate lesson, we went to the jazz samba, and that's the traditional samba that's been taken away and applied to the drum kit, because traditionally samba is made up of different percussion instruments and it's played in a percussive, in a parade kind of style during like Carnival and stuff like that in Brazil. And it's a very lively kind of dancey party kind of vibe. So, and the American jazz samba is a jazz version of that and a drum kit version that's been taken. So it's fairly light and it's a very flowing kind of cool thing. And we looked at that in the intermediate lesson. Now we're looking at taking the street samba and bringing it to the kit. So trying to make more of that street samba sound come out on the drums. Okay, so first thing that we're going to look at doing is we're going to play the ostinato. Now this, I've gone over this in all the lessons. If you're watching the advanced lesson and you don't know what an ostinato is, you need to go back. So just a quick refresh. It's just 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. So as you can see, it's just kick, hats, kick, kick, hats, kick, kick, hats, kick, kick, hats. And you're probably saying, oh, I already know that. So what's the big deal about that? Now, the next part which is kind of different. Now this was actually taught to me when I was having some lessons with an amazing player. Again, one of my favourite players in Australia. His name's Darren Ferrugia, and he was the resident drummer for Hey Hey It's Saturday. And I was very lucky to have some lessons with Darren when I was about 18 years old. And this was one of the patterns he gave me. Now what we're doing with this is a floor tom part. So we're adding a floor tom in. Now with the floor tom, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding a muted stroke and then an open stroke. So we're going to go mute, open, mute, open, mute, open, mute, open. And that's on the quarter note. So it's 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And to play a muted stroke, all you do is you put, and I might just go to the top view so you can see this. So you're going to put your finger on top of the stick. This is the only time you put your finger on top of the stick, and that's going to stop the stick from bouncing up, and you're going to push into the head so it doesn't bounce up. And that's going to be the muted stroke, okay? So again, muted stroke, open, mute, open, mute, open, mute, open. And that's going to sound like this. And then obviously we put it over the ostinato, and that's going to sound, let's do it with a click. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, ba, boom, ba, or da, doom, ba, boom, ba, boom, about 80. Cool. And then the next part that we're going to play is actually the snare drum part, and that, if we go to the next slide, we've got it on top here. So the snare drum part is 1 E and R2 E and R3 E and R4 E and a ba 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 and da 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 da. One. So there's only one ghosted note, and that's on the of 1. So it's 1 E and so it's like a da da boom ba da 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 da, and I'll just play that for you. 2, 3. So then what we're going to do, and I'm just going to move this over so I don't break my trackpad, is we're going to add that all together. So I'm going to play the ostinato with the muted floor tom part for a little bit, and then I'm going to play the left hand over the top. And this is where it's going to get really interesting. So here we go. So as you can hear, you may have noticed that in some of those strokes I was flaming them. And the reason I was flaming them is because Latin music, or South American music in general, it's not perfect. It's played by different percussion instruments all put together, and if it's a little bit dirty, it actually sounds more authentic. And I'm not trying to say that the South American players are sloppy by any means. It's not that. It's a feel thing. So by having a slightly flammed note between the floor tom and the snare drum, to me it sounds a little bit more authentic, but it sounds cooler. It sounds fatter. So these guys are probably amongst like the masters, the Latin masters, in my opinion, some of the most talented musicians in the world, especially the drummers and percussionists. They're absolutely amazing. I've got a friend of mine, Willie, who I do I used to do a lot of work with. He's an amazing percussionist, and he's actually a subscriber. His daughter's a subscriber to this. So if you're watching, man, I wish I was half as good as you, Willie. So anyway, and you hear that guy play with so much feel and just the knowledge that he has behind everything that's being played. It's amazing. And I really actually want to go have some lessons with him. So anyway, so just having a little bit of that like kind of slightly flammed notes and to me it just adds a lot more colour and dimension to the music. So let's do it a little bit quicker. Let's do it about 100 beats per minute, and let's just play it a little bit more and just so you can hear how it sounds. So another thing that I do, and I might just play a little bit faster. So maybe 120. But before I do that, I just want to explain something else that you can do. So in playing that, and then you want to give it a bit more of a lift, you can start splashing your left foot. So and it just adds, to me, a next level of coordination thing. So just adding the left foot splash in there. If you want to make it difficult, which is why you're here. You're here to challenge yourself. So once you got this down and you feel like you've got it pretty good, and yes, I'm not saying mine's perfect. It's not. When you hear someone like Darren play it, it's amazing. Mine, I haven't played this in years, and I feel like I need a little bit more of a revisit with it. But adding the left foot in and splashing it will add a new dimension to it. So we'll play it at 120. We'll see how we go. To me, you don't want to play this too fast, like ridiculous fast. So this is probably pushing the tempos up a little bit too much, but we'll see how we go. And yeah, just play with it and try and have some fun. So here we go. Here's the Street Samba. So again, to me, that actually does not sound great, and it's not because I'm not trying to say like I'm not playing it very good. I just think it loses all feel when you go too fast. So I wanted to play it at 120 so you could hear how it sounds when it's fast. It doesn't always sound better. Playing faster isn't always better. I know, it's crazy talk, isn't it? So to me, I reckon this really sits nice at about 100. So it's to me, it sits really nice there. So let's do it there. Let's see how we go. 1, 2. Cool, and that's it for today's lesson. So you may not think that there's like a lot of stuff in there, but there is so much in there to dig into and to really challenge yourself. Like, not only do you have, you got the full ostinato, you've got the right hand playing the mute, do, gong, tra, ta, ga, ga, da, with the left hand, and then trying to throw in that next one. It can really be a killer. So, and the thing I used to love about playing Latin stuff was it was a real challenge, and I really loved doing challenging things like this. So anyway, that's enough about that. Let's see if we've got any questions. We've had a 0% rate with the questions today. So no more questions. So on that note, we're going to wrap it up. Again, have a fantastic week. When you're ready with this stuff, what you need to do is, if you're watching this on the archive and not on YouTube, because you won't be able to do this on YouTube, is so log into the site. Once you've finished, when you're ready and you feel like you want some feedback, whether maybe you're getting stuck with something or you just want to know how you're sounding, what do you think? Record yourself, submit it through the site, and I'll check that out and get my feedback to you as soon as I can. Remember, you've got unlimited feedback, so you can do that as many times as you feel comfortable until you get it there, until I say, yeah, hey man, I think you've got that down, or you should really work on maybe go back and do this, or maybe you should take it to the next level and try this. I'm not always just going to recommend stuff, other videos on the site and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to let you know, hey man, or hey girl, whoever you are, or hey non-gender specific person, like just try this next step, and that's what you're paying for. This is why you're not just watching the video on YouTube and trying to copy that. I'm not selling that. Like this isn't the information. You can go anywhere and learn this information. What you're learning or what you're paying for is feedback from me. So there's some things that YouTube won't teach you. So if you are watching this on YouTube, awesome, thank you for looking at it, but hey, you should be, not should be, but like if you want the best out of your lessons, or the best, you want a teacher who knows what they're doing, hopefully that's me, and come to check out the site, and that's what you get. You get me. You're getting to have lessons with me. So you'll get the feedback. I'll get to know you through the video communications and stuff here, and backwards and forwards, and really get to know you as a player, and can really recommend what you need to get to the next level. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to leave you. Have a fantastic week, and if you've got any questions, hit me up at info@interdrums.com. On that note, have a fantastic week and happy practicing.